Hello guys and welcome to a FIFA 20 Manchester United player squad ratings video. We're going to show some player upgrades and downgrades as from a pretty poor season from a Manchester United's perspective, from a fan's perspective as well, as I'm a big Manchester United fan. It's been a bad season for us, finishing 6th place with only a few players performing at a consistent and decent level. So we're going to have a look at the FIFA 20 potential ratings of said players. We're going to cover pretty much the starting 11 currently to date, as well as a few of the fringe players. So there might be a few young players here and there that might be missing out. Players like Mason Greenwood and that who are not in Ultimate Team currently, they're not on this video. But either way, we're going to move on to our first player, which is David De Gea. As you can see, I've given him a -2 overall rating. He's had a pretty poor end to the season. He's been pretty inconsistent. When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took over in the beginning of the year, he did have a few good games, but not enough to keep his overall at 91. I can see him coming down. 2 overalls is justified. Any more than that, I think, is a bit extreme. As you see on screen there, the stats as well, what I've taken down. And it's just my personal opinion of each player. Moving on, next we have Ashley Young, and he has had an awful season. He has gone down 3 overall ratings, and the defensive stats and dribble and pace have gone down a hell of a lot as well. He's been consistently bad throughout the whole season. To be fair, he could probably have a bigger upgrade. Let's be realistic. When you played so bad for a whole season, you're not going to be favoured by EA and their rating system. Anyway, we're going to move on to the next player, which is Victor Lindelof. Now, he has been one of the bright lights in a very dark season for Manchester United. He has, well, I have given him a +3 overall rating change, which is the first player to be upgraded so far in the Man United squad, with a lot of different stats going up. Pretty much every stat on the card will be going up, apart from the shooting, which I think is fair. I think it's justified. He's been consistently good in the back line, and they're pretty much the only defender to do so. But moving on to another one, which is might be a bit of a controversial upgrade, which is Chris Smalling. I've given him a +1 upgrade, only because he's been pretty decent since Solskjaer took over. Quite consistent with his defending and with his pace. So I've given him a little upgrade. There is a few stats that have gone down as well, so it's not biased, all upgraded. You know, there's a few upgrades and downgrades there. But again, he's had a mediocre season, but he has been quite consistent under Solskjaer. Moving on to the next couple of players, we have Luke Shaw, who I've given a couple of overalls. He is quality this whole season. He's probably been our stand-up player. He could even go up even more than the 2 overalls. And then to the right there, we have got Phil Jones, who I've given a -3 downgrade. He's been consistently bad. Pretty awful throughout the whole season. A player that I do not rate highly at all. I think he's pretty darn poor. Moving on to the next player, which is a young right back we signed this season, Dalot, and I've given him a humongous upgrade. I believe he's not a 72 rated. I think 77, around about there, 76, 78 is a fair choice, and I believe he's going to be around 77 with some huge stat upgrades. I mean, he's a lot quicker than what they've given him there. He's got decent defending, decent dribble and crossing, and his passing's not too bad either. So I think that's a fair representation of Dalot. Moving on to the next player, who's also a silver card, who I'm predicting to move into the gold, and that's McTominay. He's had a quality season, and especially since Mourinho's took over, he's come through the ranks, and he's now one of our probably more consistent midfielders. And under Solskjaer as well, he's been absolutely awesome, and I've given him upgrades across the board. +5 overall upgrade, so a 76, and I think that's pretty fair. Obviously, again, it's just my opinion. So moving on to the next one, which is a downgrade, and that's our new signing, £52 million signing, Fred. I've given him a -2 downgrade. All the stats across the board has gone down by 1 or 2 or something around about there. I think that's a fair representation of his season. Not been so good. He's not really strong. His passing's been quite poor. Defending not very good either. He's not really a £52 million player. Moving on to the next player, And this one could be controversial as well, and that's Paul Pogba with a nice +1 upgrade on the overall, with some stats there going up as well. Quite a few stats as well, and that's just, again, people might say he's not had a good season, but he's our top goal scorer, and he's got the most assists in the Manchester United squad as well. So I think he deserves an upgrade. He's got into the team of the season as well, so I think that's only fair to give him an upgrade. And again, I could even go up by 2. He could be a 90 overall come FIFA 20. Moving on to the next player, and that is Nemanja Matic, and I've given him a -3 downgrade. And again, a player that's been really inconsistent, hasn't been that good this season. He's lost, seems really slow. Defending's been a bit dodgy at the back. And in that defensive midfield role, I don't think he's been good enough to keep that 86 overall rating. So a -3 downgrade for Matic is what I have given him. Another player with another downgrade, and that's Mata. I've only given him -1 upgrade, and barely any stats have gone down either. I think that's just because he's not really played too many games for us this season. For United, he's not done an awful lot of good things this season. But then again, most of the squad have not, so I think you'll find a lot of the players from Manchester United are getting downgrades coming up to FIFA 20, which is a shame, but Mata, a player I love, I've given him a -1 downgrade. Now moving on to Jesse Lingard, and I've given him a -2 downgrade, a player that has been consistently poor this season. Considering last season, under Mourinho, he played fantastic. He was getting involved in goals, assisting players regularly, he was making good runs, he was all over the pitch. But this season, it's not his season. He's just gone back to the old Jesse Lingard, where he's been underperforming quite consistently. Moving on to the next player, and that's Alexis Sanchez. Now, I'll be very surprised if he's still at the club come FIFA 20, but I've given him a -3 downgrade, and that's probably generous. He could probably go down to about an 82 rated left wing. A lot of stats have gone down as well. He's been probably one of the worst Premier League signings for Manchester United in their history, and that is saying something because we've signed some atrocious players over the years. Moving on to another player, and it is Anthony Martial. He's been patchy throughout the season. He's had a good start under under Solskjaer when he came in January, and he scored quite consistently, but then he sort of dropped off, and he's sort of been in and out of the team with injuries and lack of form. So a -1 upgrade for Martial, I think, is a fair representation for him. Not too many stats going down either, so a -1 for Martial, and we're giving Rashford here a massive +2. Now, he's already got an upgrade in FIFA 19, and he's gone from like a 79 to an 80 striker, so that's a position change. He got 5-star skill moves, and he got an overall upgrade, and I think he's going to get another one come FIFA 20. Now, a lot of people might argue this is a little bit controversial, because statistically he's not been that great, but it's just the way he plays. He's English as well, and that gets hyped up in the Premier League. So a +2 for Rashford, and we're going to move on to the last player, and that is Romelu Lukaku, who I think will get a -1 downgrade. He hasn't been that great. He has tried very well, and he played some big important roles in some of the games that we had some good results in, especially against PSG away. But other than that, he hasn't done too much. So there we go, guys. That concludes our video today on our Manchester United FIFA 20 potential upgrades and downgrades. I hope you guys agree or disagree, but either way, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel to see more FIFA 20 content. But until then, guys, take care.